Rants from the road number 4. I'll make this one quick. Perceptions. Your perception, in particular, is formed largely in part by what your brain picks up subconsciously around you. So even if you don't watch television, but you still have it and it's running in the background, the narrative, the audio, even if the video is not being picked up by your brain, the audio is still being picked up by your brain, and subconsciously whatever ideas are being put forward audio-wise are being picked up by your brain. Now, I bring this up because I just want to use the election as a way of pointing this out, since everybody is paying attention right now. Because after the election, in a few more days, whoever wins, one side's going to be pissed off and the other side's going to go back to sleep. So there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be paying attention to what's going on, and that are going to have election fatigue and are going to be like, I'm done. I can't deal with this right now. Understandably so. It's part of the reason why that stuff is also saturated so much into the media, is to give you fatigue, so that afterwards, you have your climax, the election, and then it's over, and then you go away, and you don't pay attention to politics or what's going on. That's why right now it's very important to get things out. So that being said, and with annotations from Snoring Dog in the back seat there, it's important to understand that your perception is formed for you, largely in part, if you're still plugging into the mainstream media, and even the alternative media to an extent, because the alternative media has been controlled largely by now responding to whatever the mainstream puts out. Sometimes it breaks. There are places that still break their own stories, but as I've talked about before, the alternative media spends a lot of time responding to what the mainstream is putting out now. And mainstream has learned that in order to stay relevant and to control the narrative, they have to actually talk about things that they used to ignore in the past or laugh at us for. And now they actually talk about them. That's why you hear conspiracy theories being put in the mainstream narrative on a daily basis now. You'll hear conspiracy used all the time, and they'll say it's not a conspiracy, but it is a conspiracy. No, that's misuse of the word conspiracy, which I could go into and do an entire video rant about. The point is, I want to point out the narrative being formed for you. So, as an example, with this election, to those of you that don't like Donald Trump, I have listeners on both sides of the fence. You know how I feel. It's all controlled, right? Like the t-shirt, right? Left, right, all controlled. Anyway, for those of you that don't like Donald Trump because you think he's a racist, give me one clear example of real, true racism from Donald Trump. And I don't mean because the media said he said something, or they played a soundbite, and what he said to you might have sounded racist. First, you have to look at your reaction to it. Why are you calling it racist? Is it really racist? Is it racist to you because the media has been pushing that and they worked a nerve, and finally you were like, well, now that I think about it, I guess that is racist if they say that. Because see, the true definition of racism is believing that one race is better than all other races. Doesn't mean that white people, doesn't say anywhere in the definition of racism, white people. White people started it. It's all white people's fault, and racism only started in the United States. No. Not true at all. Not factual. Not logically accurate. Not factually correct in any way, shape, or form. At all. At all. It's bullshit. But people buy it. Now, are there racist morons in this country? Yes, there are. But someone making a joke based on a stereotype is different than someone saying all black people must be eradicated, or all Latinos must be eradicated, or all white people should be eradicated, or any type of religious group, Jews, Arabs, Christians, Muslims, well, I guess that would fall under Arabs. I should actually say Muslims, not really Arabs. So Jews, Christians, Arabs, Buddhists, whoever, right? Them being removed, and I don't even know if you consider that racist, because that's not really a race of people. It's more like their religious sect. I mean, I guess you could try to, merge the two. But okay, let's say we said, well, all Muslims, they gotta go. Oh, well, that sounds racist, right? Wasn't that what he said? Isn't that what Donald Trump said? Well, no, he was talking about immigration policies and things. He never said he was going to start rounding up American citizens that were here legally and that, in many cases, grew up here and start throwing them out. He's talking about importing, like, Syrian immigrants and things like that. Again, twisting of the narrative to make you think that talking about any type of immigration into this country, if you're against it, oh, you must be racist. My mother was an immigrant to this country. I still think you should adhere to the immigration laws. I'm first-generation American on her side. She was an immigrant from the Netherlands. After World War II, they came over here. Or sometime in like the late 50s, early 60s when they came over. But my grandfather and grandmother survived World War II. And then my mother was born. And then my aunt. And then they came over here. She's first-generation American. Me. Born here. At least, from, like I said, from her side of the family. I still think people should have to go through immigration, follow the immigration laws. My mother did. She had to take her test. She had to go study for it. She had to know certain things. Just like everybody else. I have plenty of friends, even from Central America. I have friends from Central and South America that I've physically, myself, personally gone to the ceremonies where they were sworn in. And you know how much time they spent studying and waiting on a list for that opportunity, for that day? And they were so proud. They were so proud. So, yeah, I have an issue with then all those other people that are just like them waiting on the list. Having seen it personally, and my mother being an immigrant herself, I have a problem with people being allowed to hop the line for political purposes, because that's all it's about. It's not about helping them and they're oppressed and we have to get them over here. It's because a certain party, a certain political party, the Democrats, and they're all controlled by the same people we know at the very top, but the people that align themselves with that section, that puppet, out of the entire puppet set, right? They want to use these people as a voting base to take away certain things in this country, like the Second Amendment. Now, the Second Amendment doesn't technically give you the right to protect yourself. You're given that right when you're born by the grand architect, whatever you choose to think the grand architect may be, whether you call it the universe, God, Allah, whatever you believe in, and Allah just means God in Arabic anyway. But whatever you believe, whatever your belief system is, we're born with that right. From the time we come into this reality, you have the right to protect yourself. You have the right of defense. So, the Second Amendment really doesn't give you that right, it enumerates it. It lets you know, and everybody else know, including your would-be oppressors, that you know what your actual rights are, and that you can defend yourself. Because if people are aware that they can do it, they're probably more apt to do it. One of the ways of stopping people from doing something is to get them to believe that they're powerless and that they can't do it, and that they can't do anything about it. By the way, does that sound familiar? Like politics? Oh, there's nothing you can do to change it. You just have to go with the status quo and vote for the lesser of two evils. You're not powerless. I've done videos about this. I've done shows about this. I did a show a couple years ago. I'm going to retweet this out today. It's called Your True Power Defined. Great episode. It's over on DTRH Radio Archives on YouTube. Go listen to it. Your True Power Defined. You can also listen to it over at federaljack.com. If you go there, type in the search bar, Your True Power Defined. And if you go to Popeye Radio, it's in that list, and you can actually, like certain browsers, I think Google, you can do searches of pages like that. You can just put in Your True Power Defined and it should come up because it's in there as the subtitle. So Popeye Radio, radio.com, federaljack.com, or the YouTube archive, DTRH Radio Archives. Anyway, your perception is being formed for you. So if you don't like Donald Trump and you think he's racist, have you ever actually heard him say something racist? And I'm not defending him. I'm not, ooh, vote for Trump. I'm using it as an example because of the election is right here. It's right in your face. It's a perfect example. Have you ever actually heard him say anything racist? And I don't mean because you perceived it to be racist because of all this PC culture bullshit. I mean, have you ever seen him do something or say something inherently racist? And I mean like, well, black people are all criminals, or like all black people are criminals, or all Latinos are criminals, or have you ever seen him say anything like that? Have you ever heard him say? No, I haven't. I've seen and heard sound bites, things taken out of context or snipped just so it's a 10 or 15 second soundbite by either him or somebody that may be in his camp or that's supposedly related to his presidential campaign might have said. Suddenly he's a racist. Oh my God. That's bullshit, and you know it. You know it. Look at it again, real close, and say to yourself, did he actually say anything racist, or am I just perceiving that because of all this crap and what's been fed and programmed into my head through the TV and the mainstream media and shows, and what's politically correct and what's not politically correct? It's all programmed into us. Even if you don't, I don't listen to it, my kids or my sister or whoever has it on in the background, if you're still hearing it, it's still going to go into your head unless you know that if you turn around and go, oh, that's bullshit, when they're watching it and you start pointing stuff out, then that's you subconsciously fighting that programming. And that's the external visualization of that. But if you're not, you might even find yourself laughing at some of the jokes or agreeing with some things. You have to question, is your opinion being formulated for you? So again, it's a perfect example. I have not seen Donald Trump running around with a KKK hood on. Okay, I have not seen him doing anything inherently racist. Just because the KKK says, well, we're for Donald Trump, so what? Robert Byrd, a very high-ranking member of the Ku Klux Klan at one time, former senator, he's Hillary Clinton's, I guess you could call her, like, mentor. He died. He's dead now. He's also been implicated by Kathy O'Brien in being one of her abusers. Former mind control slave. Oh, and ironically, so was Hillary Clinton. Go read the book Transformation of America. Even if you only believe 50% of what's written in there or 30% of what's written in there, it's 100% abhorrent, and it'll blow your mind more than some of the stuff that's come out in the past couple of days from WikiLeaks. If you think about Jeffrey Epstein and that stuff is bad, strap yourself in. Kathy O'Brien's book will make your head spin and probably make you nauseous. I'm not kidding. The Transformation of America. And trance, like you're in a trance. So The Transformation of America by Kathy O'Brien. You can find videos on YouTube, interviews she's done. I'm sure you can find the ebook. If you go to the ebook section on federaljack.com, we have a free ebook section. It's in there. You can download it. I think it's in the mind control section. You can, in fact, if you go to the mind control section, the downloadable archive section, there's also a mind control section in there. And in there, I think the ebook's not only in there, but there's videos about Kathy O'Brien with her being interviewed in there as well. Download the videos for free. Again, everything on Federal Jack, PopeyeRadio.com, and my YouTube channel is all free for you because knowledge is power. I do this to better the human race. Anyway, this video was supposed to be extremely short. Here it is, like 15 minutes long. So, long-ass rant. Supposed to be short, but hopefully my point has been brought home to you all. Perceptions are formed by the television, media, radio, people that constantly talk about things. Remember, it could be a complete lie, but if it's said to you 100 times, people are going to start to believe it. You just got to keep repeating the lie over and over and over again. Hitler talked about that. Make it simple and repeat it. And that's what they do. Campaign slogans, very simple and repetitive. You're being manipulated. A lot of people are manipulated via their emotions. It's all bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. I've talked about this before. They manipulate you using your emotions, using logical fallacy-based arguments to get you all whipped up and not think. Because if you sit for 1 minute and think, you will start to see through their bullshit, because common sense will prevail. Your brain will be like, wait. This doesn't make any sense, what these people are saying. Your true power. Anyway, enough. I've taken up enough time. So, you get the idea. Using Trump as an example, remember, your perceptions of people and things are formed for you. So, when you're told something about anyone, not just Trump, about anyone or anything, by the mainstream media, question it. Question it, and try to verify it as best you can. And if it's bullshit, then acknowledge that it's bullshit. Enlighten yourself. The media and the government aren't going to do it for you. It's left up to you to do. Anyway, enough. End of rant number 4. I love you all. As I always say to you, the solutions to our problems are most definitely an inside job. So go out and be the superheroes that I know each and every one of you truly are. Go be the change. I love you all. Catch you all again soon.